Hi, welcome to CFS Fibreglass. My name's Paul Lowe, and today I'm going to be showing you a very useful moulding compound for taking moulds of small objects. It's called ComposiMold, and it's very interesting in several ways. It's useful and very interesting insofar as it can be reused. It is melted in a microwave, so it does get quite warm, and then it can be poured into a mould and then used up to 35 times. Now, the other interesting thing is it's food contact safe, so it could be used for making chocolate items or for icing, sugar, cake mouldings. But today, just for a bit of fun, I'm going to be taking a mould of this old BlackBerry phone, and I'm going to be using one of our moulding trays. That's an MC7 and it's 236 millilitres. Now this contains 480, so what I'm going to do is take out or remove half of this, but as you can see it looks like honey, but it's actually a bit like jello or jelly, and I'm going to be cutting this probably in half and melting it and popping it in the microwave and giving it a blast and stirring it and see how we get on. So I'm going to cut this off now and take some of this out. Now I have to admit it took quite a lot of energy to cut it in half. The reason I cut it in half is I didn't want to melt the whole lot up and waste the possibility of the 35 times use from the other half. So I have cut it in half, and as you can see it's really tough jelly. But what we're going to do now is microwave it. I'm going to put the phone in position. It's as you can see it's a bit of a tight fit, but I'm hoping it'll be okay. It just leaves the walls a bit thin around the edge, but I think we'll give it a go at that. It's just such a good fit. It'd be a pity to waste it. So we'll put that carefully on one side. Got a container to microwave it. Now what I'm going to do is give it probably a 20-second blast on high, and then we'll take it out and see what it looks like. So pop that in there. Yeah, it's about 20 seconds. Right, that's 20 seconds. Ooh, good, it's starting to move. So, I'll give it another 20. So that's after 40 seconds. Oh yeah, definitely looking better. I think at this stage I'm going to give it just a little bit of a stir. Well, it's a bit like runny honey, with a big blob still left in the middle there. So I'm going to give it another 20 seconds, see how we get on with that. Right, let's see what we got now. Oh, that's definitely, I think that's pretty well it. Yeah, that I would, still a little bit of a blob. I might give it another 10. Right, I'm pretty sure that'll be it now. It's looking pretty good. It smells quite good as well. Well, that's it. That is ready to pour. Now, it's not boiling hot, but it will be pretty hot, so you don't want to get this on your skin. Although what I'm going to do is just feel the side and give you some idea of how hot this is. So, yeah, I can just about keep my hand there. I wouldn't want to keep it there much longer. So it is quite warm, but it is quite liquefied. So there's my BlackBerry, or the old BlackBerry, in the mould. And I have actually plugged up the old holes in it. I'm just gonna let this debubble for a minute and see how. I'll tell you how long it takes to sort of raise the bubbles to the top before I'm ready to pour. Well, I've left it for about 30 seconds and the bubbles are rising very slowly. So what I am going to do is just pour and hope that on the mould itself, of the mould of the blackberry, that the bubbles will... There's a funny feeling pouring this over a blackberry. It'd be interesting to see how long it takes for it to solidify. It's a good job it's an old blackberry. Otherwise I think I'd be in a lot of trouble. Right, almost come to the top. There's no point being stingy because I've got plenty. Right, I think I'm going to leave it at that. And then I'll come back when it's solidified and tell you how long it takes to solidify. Well, I left the casting for half an hour and tried it and touched the top, and it was still a little bit gooey. So I've now come back after an hour and a half, and it doesn't feel to have any heat in it. So I'm going to try and get it out. I am going to go off camera just for a second so you don't see me fiddling for too long, but I will be truthful when I come back. Well, it's taken me about 2 minutes. It was a bit of a fiddle because it's quite sticky material. It's not like silicone rubber, it just sort of slides out. It wanted to grip all the time, but just by slowly releasing the contact, you see it seems to want to stay sticking, but then if you just keep peeling it out, it eventually, it's a bit like gummy bear. And there's the moulding. Now I haven't released the blackberry yet. You can see because of the undercut there's a little bit of a flash, but I'm going to cut that back with a sharp knife, and then we'll try and remove the blackberry from the mould. So I'll just turn off a sec, trim that flash, and then we'll pop the blackberry out. Right, I've cut the little bit of flash back with a sharp knife. So the time has come really to try and release the mould. So I'm just going to show you exactly what happens, because I haven't pre-released this. So what I'm doing is just breaking the edge there, and you can see, as before, it really likes to stick, but I'm just hoping that there's enough strength for it to not tear when the time comes for the big one. So there you go, I'm getting the end out now. So I'm still trying to be careful because I'm not altogether, I haven't used it before, so I'm not altogether sure how strong this moulding compound is, but it seems to be coping. I'm just breaking the right, I've got the front out, so I'm going to start pulling it out. See, it's really sticking where the keys are, which I'm not surprised really, because you'd think some of that would have flowed down behind the keys, but it's supposed to be fairly waterproof, so it seems to be coming out fairly well. Oh, well, there's the blackberry out. I don't think it'll have made it work, but I do have a mould of it, so what I will be doing now is making a casting in there, just to prove. I'll probably do a translucent blue one just to show you what the moulding is like, but I'll do that off camera because we've already done casting into a mould using clear casting resin. So I'll make a clear cast blue blackberry phone now. I was going to say blue, but it's going to be blue, but it's going to be a blackberry in clear casting resin. I said I would do it off camera, but I couldn't resist showing you pouring the translucent blue casting resin, because it always looks so cool. So I've pre-mixed it, pre-pigmented it, so all we have here is clear casting resin with a bit of translucent blue pigment. So we'll cast this, then leave it set overnight, and then come back tomorrow and see what our lovely blackberry casting looks like. Well, we've left this overnight, and we've come back to see what we've got. Well, I can see that it's certainly gone off, so we'll release it from the mould in front of the camera and see if we can get it out without damaging the mould. Again, it's one of these things where we've got to peel it away carefully. So what I'll do is I'll go off camera again, just to stop wasting your time, and then come back in a second. Well, as before, it took a minute or two of fiddling, but there we have it. A lovely cast blue blackberry. Just to conclude this video, remember I said that the moulding compound was certified food contact safe. Well, just to prove it, I made a dark chocolate blackberry, which, well, I'm not sure if I'm going to eat, but I certainly will show the other members of staff and see if they can guess what it is. Just a little word of warning. When I came to wash the excess chocolate off, which you can see I still have a little bit, I detected that this seemed to be water soluble slightly, so I certainly won't be washing the mould in warm water again, but the nice thing is I can soon create another one, because I can just use the microwave to create a new one. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you again sometime.